morning and welcome to Monday and welcome to 5 Minutes a Day with God. And if you're just joining us, we are in the book of Exodus and we are Exodus chapter 7 today, 1 through 7, and God reaffirms Moses. So what we covered last week was basically Aaron and Moses, they go up to Pharaoh and they say, God says, let his people go. We need to go and worship him for 3 days. And Pharaoh says, no way. And he makes it harder on them. And so now the people are really mad. And the people go and they complain to Moses and Aaron. And then Moses complains to God and says, God, you're making it worse. Like, what's happening? You said you were going to save your people and you haven't yet. And so we're going to look at this also. God reaffirms what he's going to do. So I'm going to read it starting verse 1. Then the Lord said to Moses, see, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother will be your prophet. You are to say everything I command you, and your brother Aaron is to tell Pharaoh to let the Israelites go out of his country. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt with mighty acts of judgment. I will bring out my divisions, my people the Israelites. And the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring the Israelites out of it. Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord commanded them. Moses was 80 years old and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. All right, so what's happening here is Moses comes to God and he gives him doubts. And basically what in his doubts, what he's really telling God is, I don't think you can do this, God. I don't think you could pull this off. And our God is so gracious because he is big enough for Moses' doubts and for our doubts. So it's good for us to remember and to realize that we can go to God as well. And we can vent and even be angry. And our God can take it. He's big enough. And he wants us to go to him with all our feelings and all our emotions. And so, but God shows so much patience and grace with Moses. And he says, no, you're going to do this, and I'm going to be with you. And so then he shows Moses mercy in giving him the plan. But what he says here is it's not going to be easy, right? And that's been the issue all along, is even though God told Moses from the beginning, this is not going to be easy, at the first wall of Pharaoh going, nope, it was hard for them. They are like, what? And they really thought it was going to be easy, that maybe Pharaoh was just going to say, okay, go ahead and leave. And at the first challenge, right, with the Israelites as well, they lost hope, thinking this is too hard. This is worse than how it was before. And what I want us to talk about right now is the phrase where he says, I will harden Pharaoh's heart. So what does that mean? I know there's been a lot of discussion about what does that mean, God hardening Pharaoh's heart? Like, God didn't want Pharaoh to do this? Like, don't we have free will? What does that mean? And so basically what was happening here is when Pharaoh said no, I'm not going to do this, and he made it even harder on the Israelites, what he was doing is he was revealing that his heart was evil. And so God is basically saying, okay, there's evil in your heart, I'm going to leave you to that evil, basically what it's saying. So I'm going to leave you to your devices. And so that's what it means, is that God is allowing him to say no. That God's like leaving him to his own evil ways. And that's something that speaks to us as well, right? Same thing, there's a struggle with us all the time, is are we going to follow God as believers? Are we going to listen to the Holy Spirit and follow God and how he wants us to live this day out in our speech, in our actions? Or are we going to just be revealed our flesh, right? Because we're constant, even though we're saved, even though we have a relationship with God and we have the Holy Spirit in us, there's a constant battle in our flesh to still sin, right? And so sometimes God may go, just leave us in our sin, right? And then we experience a consequence. And that's what God is saying, is he is going to experience the consequence of my hand. Of judgment is going to come down hard on him because of his evil heart that's been revealed. And so I hope that clarifies that very confusing verse for a lot of people. And have a good day and see you tomorrow. And remember, 5 minutes in the Word can change your life.